signaling a significant raising of the stakes in the conflict between Russia and the West. This warning, in fact, follows recent confirmation from U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance that Washington is considering Zelensky's request for the high-precision long-range missiles. Mr. Glenn Grant, what do you make of Russia's response? Of course, we've seen a change in tone by Donald Trump over the last couple of months, from insulting Zelensky at the Oval Office to now completely backing Ukraine. U.S. is mulling over, in fact, sending Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine as well, which would give it an edge in the war on the ground. How are you viewing these latest statements that are coming in? The fact that Russia has now stated that they will, in fact, give an adequate response to the U.S. as well if they go ahead with this move?
Well, I think that this is just another one of the Kremlin's comments, following a string of them, almost exactly the same. I mean, remember that it wasn't that long ago that the Kremlin was saying that if tanks are issued to the front line, this will change things. That if multi-barrel rocket launchers are given, that this will change things. That if Patriot is given, this will change things. This is just another one. I don't think it's going to make any difference because they don't actually have the capacity to do anything else except more hybrid type activities like flying drones over people or trying to cut Wi-Fi cables between countries. So I don't think it's going to make any difference to the fundamentals of the battlefield. So I would just ignore it.
With that, I would like to thank you for taking out time and sharing your perspective. And on that note, viewers, let's also, in fact, listen in to what Kremlin spokesperson Peskov has had to say.
В интервью на этой неделе говорили о возможности поставки таких ракет и в целом вполне допускали возможность ударов вглубь территории России. Это, конечно, достаточно опасный симптом, и он не может не быть замечен в Москве. Мы его заметили. И случись это будет новым серьезным напряженности, который потребует адекватный ответ со стороны российской стороны. Но, с другой стороны, очевидным также остается тот факт, что никакой волшебной пилюли, волшебного оружия.
Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron has urged European nations to increase pressure on Russia's so-called shadow fleet, a network of tankers and vessels used to circumvent Western sanctions imposed after the war that broke out in 2022. Macron was speaking at a summit in Denmark, emphasizing the importance of coordinated action to weaken Russia's ability to fund the war. Listen in.
And we are more and more efficient. And I want to insist on the shadow fleet, as you mentioned. Because following our key figures, today 30 to 40% of the war effort is financed through the revenues of the shadow fleet. It represents more than 30 billion euro. So it's extremely important to increase the pressure on this shadow fleet because it will clearly reduce the capacity to finance this war effort for Russia.
In fact, France is currently investigating a Benin-flagged vessel amongst hundreds blacklisted by the EU for aiding Moscow's oil exports. The shadow fleet is estimated to include up to 1,000 ships and accounts for a significant portion of Russia's war budget. Still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Glenn Grant. Thank you so much, sir, for your patience. Of course, we've heard what Emmanuel Macron has had to say. There's recently been a Russian-linked oil tanker that was immobilized off France's Atlantic coast. This vessel was a part of Russia's shadow fleet, which has been evading Western sanctions on Moscow's oil exports. Now, with this, it's very clear that NATO nations are now targeting Russia's energy sector as well, which is used to fund the war. Are we likely to see other countries follow France's footsteps and also take similar actions? And if so, to what extent will this dent Russia's economy? Sir, we can't hear you. I request you to please unmute yourself.
I do apologize. I just said that if we actually look at this at the rate that it's going at the moment, it won't dent Russia's economy at all by the ships, because there have been so few that have actually been stopped and investigated. And I'm not sure that any have actually been taken out of the loop. And as Macron said, Russia's got about 1,000 of these vessels coming in and out. So it actually needs a concerted activity from both the EU and NATO to put all the ships that we possibly can to stop this. But I just don't see that happening at the moment. Maybe after the meeting in Copenhagen, we'll get some increased pressure on these ships. But at the moment, they seem to be going backwards and forwards as they will, without being stopped.
All right, sir. With that, I would like to thank you for taking our time, sharing your perspective and your analysis of this with